French fried egg roll.
With a lot of spicy mustard. Mm. You got nailed with the mustard.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we'll clear your sinuses.
A little Mickey D's, a broccoli Big Mac please, that Chinese takeout, and that General Chow's, orange sesame, those McNuggets freeze, a French fry egg roll, and McSpare-Rib, here we go.
One of the most popular dishes in Chinese takeout is the orange chicken, the sesame orange chicken. So we wanted to take that idea and merge it with a classic McDonald's chicken sandwich. So let's do it. First, we're gonna make that orange sauce. This sauce is awesome because it's zesty, it's sweet, it's got everything you need. You're gonna start off with just a little bit of orange zest, actually a good bit of orange zest. Just zest the shit out of that orange. Then just cut the orange in half and squeeze in half of the orange juice. Get that juice out of there. I hit it with just a little bit of sambal, which is that spicy chili, just to give it some nice kick. Get that sauce feeling good. Then I sprinkled in some soy sauce, hit it with a little bit of sesame oil. Then I sprinkled in some honey just to balance out the spicy. Hit it with a little bit of vinegar. Sprinkled in those sesame seeds. And then again, we're using the cornstarch as a thickener, but you're gonna see how we cook this up in just a second. The process is a little different than the nuggets.
Yeah, and then for the chicken, you just take some chicken breast, you pound it out with one of the pounder thingies, you know, cover it with some plastic wrap or don't, you'll just squirt chicken in your face, pound it out, and then you put it in that batter from the nuggets.
The same exact batter.
Egg, soy sauce, cornstarch. Fry that up, and guess what?
Look at that glorious golden piece of chicken. It almost looked like the McDonald's chicken, not gonna lie. So we are gonna take that sauce and actually stir fry it. So get a pan on super hot and pour in that orange sesame sauce. And right when it hits the pan, the cornstarch is gonna instantly thicken the sauce and turn it into almost like a glaze.
Genius.
Just keep cooking it down and the sugars are gonna start to caramelize in there. And then you've got your delicious sesame sauce. And what you can do is just take your chicken, your crispy chicken, toss it in that sesame sauce, and look at those glorious sesame chicken orange patties. Oh Lord. For the bread, I wanted to do something a little unique on this sandwich. I took that AP dough, I chopped off a piece, rolled it out actually in some sesame seeds. And then what I did was I made a little ring mold out of tin foil. A classic
Tell me you didn't ring mold.
Yes, I ring molded it.
MacGyver wouldn't waste time ring molding.
Yes, you would. I love those ring molds. And then I let the thing rise in the ring mold right in there. So it just made a nice bun shape. I baked that off in the oven for about 15 minutes. And it came out just like the albino sesame.
Yeah, what happened to these albino sesames?
I liked how it came out straight albino. It was different to me. It looked unique. So to plate this thing up, we had...
Well, we sliced the bun in half and toasted the bun a little bit. And then you take your bun, you put the bun down, you hit it with slow rise with that chicken.
2 pieces of nice thinly sliced tomato, and then we just piled on those scallywags, the scallions, because why use lettuce when we're going to Chinatown?
So much better.
Hit it with the scallions, top it with that bread, and good Lord.
Oh my God. Insanity. This doesn't even legally make any sense.
McDonald's starts stealing our ideas. I'm gonna be pissed. How is it?
McDonald's? Never heard of it. Orange chicken. So the other iconic thing in the McDonald's world are the French fries. Everybody loves them. It's the one thing vegetarians can eat besides the ice cream. And
Flurry.
the healthiest shit you got there. You got your dipping sauces and stuff. But we're trying to figure out what merges well in the Chinese takeout world with the French fries.
We were throwing some ideas around, and I was like, egg rolls, and Josh was like, oh, we'll fry up the strips. And I said, no, we're not just frying up the wrappers. We're gonna make egg roll fries.
Egg roll fries. Never been done before.
So for the filling, it was very simple.
Tasty, you can suck on that.
So the filling was very simple. All I did was chop up some cabbage, some onion, some carrot, and some garlic. And I sauteed that off in some oil, cooked that down for about 5 minutes, and then I just added some soy sauce and some rice vinegar and just really started to stir fry that down until it really caramelized. It got nice and dark and those flavors built up. I took that mixture and I just blended it up. I zipped it up because we were making thin egg roll fries. It couldn't be too chunky.
I was like, it's fucking blended up? What kind of moronic idiot would do that?
You were pissed at the
Because the egg roll usually is long pieces of cabbage and shit, but no, I
had to. We're making egg roll fries. I had to
egg
blend
roll
it up.
fries
Give me
and
a goddamn break.
So once we had that mixture, let it cool down, and then I took these big egg roll wrappers, right? And I cut them in half. And I took some of that mixture and put it in a long, thin strip, kind of like this guy's did. Anyhow, then you take some egg wash. So you beat an egg and you beat the egg up and whatever. And
We
then
all
you
know what an egg wash is.
Not at this point, you better know, or otherwise I'll tell you. So then you paint the egg wash on, and that's gonna help it all stick together. You roll the sides over, and you roll it up, and just make it nice, tight, long strips. You fry those guys up, and then you end up with these delicious, like, egg roll French
basically
fries.
eaten an entire
I'm like,
basket of these things.
Usually,
They're so good.
Usually I feel like I'm the one crushing everything, and you came back with the egg rolls. I was like, what the hell happened to the egg roll
They're
fries?
so freaking good.
So we wanted to make a hot honey mustard, which the Chinese mustard is so freaking hot. Like, I never understood it.
But it's not like spicy. It's like that
It's
horseradish that punches you in the goddamn. Like, he took a bite of it.
It's
and he's
instant.
done.
It's instant, scary, but
Goes away.
15, 20 seconds later, it's gone. I took this hot mustard. It's like this Oriental called hot mustard powder. I mixed that with a little bit of rice vinegar, some water, and some honey, and just kind of mix that around and taste it until it feels like it's at a good balance. The honey actually helped it not be super spicy, but yet it was still super spicy, and that's just a great dipping sauce. You could do the duck sauce, but we didn't actually have the ingredients for the duck sauce. But what's funny, I'm just realizing why these are so good is because to me the egg roll, it's like too much filling in there.
You're so
not enough
right.
crispy egg roll ratio.
It's kind of like the same idea as when Burger King made the chicken fries.
Yeah.
You know, everything in fry form is just more breading, more deliciousness.
you get more.
And it's also like, come on, you just pull them out.
I think egg rolls can get a little bit boring because you want, like, when you're eating them, you know,
Very
you want
true.
you want more of the crispy
They're
outside.
also messier. Like,
Yeah.
I can eat these like they're fries.
They're genius.
Every single Sunday night of our childhood, we would order in the Chinese food. And one thing that we always got, because it was my mom's favorite, was the spare rib.
I never figured out how she always ended up with spare rib on her forehead.
Spare rib everywhere.
Yeah, I was like, Mom, you got spare rib on your forehead. How are you eating that it ends up on your forehead?
I was thinking classic Chinese takeout dish, the spare rib, and then you've got the McRib from McDonald's, perfect merger. So how do we bring these together? We've got the McSpare-Rib.
So for this McSpare-Rib, we decided to use these steam buns, which are freaking awesome, that Mike made. And he'll explain to you how he made them. But the thing is, like, this isn't what you would see in Chinese takeout, but it's so popular these days, we just had to do it.
We had to go
So don't
for
judge me or I'll come over and kick your ass.
I took some of that AP dough and I rolled it out into like a circle-ish oval shape. And then I rubbed on some oil in between so those layers don't stick together later on. Then I just let those rise on a plate until they got a little bit puffy, and then I steamed them off. I don't have a bamboo fancy steamer, but this technique worked great. Cooked them for about 15 minutes and check those out. They puffed up so nice and they were freaking delicious. So let's move on to the old spare rib. First, I slow cooked this thing and I did a very simple Chinese marinade. I took some of that 5-spice, sprinkled that into a dish, hit it with a little bit of salt, sprinkled in some soy, and just a little rice vinegar. I mixed that up with my hands and then just coated that spare rib all nice. Put some tin foil over that, and I just slow cooked it in the oven at about 250 degrees for maybe 3 hours. Not until it was falling apart. I still wanted some of that chew. You need, with the spare ribs, they
People
were
are always boasting the falling apart, but it's not all. You don't always want your food falling apart.
When it came out of the oven, it wasn't falling apart, but the bones did just slide right out, and we don't need the bones for this.
We don't need
So I
the
fed
bones.
them to the dog that I don't have,
And then it went in the fridge because I wasn't going to be over till the next day when we were filming this video. So we took it back out. We turned the oven on like 500,
And
super
we
hot.
hit it with a little bit of that General Chow's sauce.
General
Remember
Tso's.
that sauce?
Sucked it
Just
all
glazed
over.
it up, and it came out looking extra saucy and delicious. We cut off a nice chunk of that, shoved it in the bao bun, hit it with some scallions and just a few chilies. Oh, amazing. Definitely not Chinese takeout. Maybe new age Chinese takeout's doing that, but so good.
It's still goddamn good.
The McSpare-Rib, my
Yeah.
friends. Now give me that shit.
It's so good. Tastes so goddamn good.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed the crap out of that as much as we did. If not, change the fucking channel. I don't want to see your
change
face
it.
anymore. But we have another crazy video coming. We didn't have a chance to film it today. Actually, I've been sick. If I seem out of it, I'm not on acid or anything. I've been sick the past like 4 days, just in bed watching all girls, like the whole season's worth
Just
of
girls.
That
No,
show,
the actual
yeah,
show.
yeah, the show girls.
That
Just
sounded
watching
wrong.
girls. Oh, yeah, that sounded wrong. The show girls. So yeah, we have another even crazier video coming, but this is the
It
truth.
might involve the reverse.
Yeah, it might.
We'll see. We're still working on it. All
Whatever.
right, guys, that's it. Holla at ya. Hope you liked this video. Boom shakalaka.